Hey, Bloom teachers. Today we are going to quickly go through the HQM deep dive part one. If you are a kindergarten through second grade teacher or you support K-2, you're at the right spot. So today in that PD dashboard that has all the PD recordings and links, you definitely will need the handout for this session. And also I would use an Amplify upcoming lesson to use with this session today. So go ahead and pause this video and find your handout and identify an upcoming session that you want to do a deep dive with. All right, everyone, go ahead and take a quick look at today's outcomes from session one. All right, so today we have 4 parts to our agenda. We're going to review and share out wows and wonders you have discovered while navigating through the curriculum. We'll also discover how the RBs connect to Amplify lessons and how we'll end up with a summary of our learning. All right, let's start by reviewing, understanding, and making connections to research-based instructional strategies called the RBs for short. What are they and what are they not? So go ahead and take a quick second and look at what they are. Now go ahead and look at the right-hand column and identify what they are not. So in literacy, we've identified 4 RBs in reading. We have foundational skills, which is explicit systematic practice with literacy foundational skills, text to complexity, regular practice with grade level complex text, and its academic language. Number 3 is knowledge coherence. That is when we're focusing on building background, also building knowledge and vocabulary through text in all content areas. And last but not least, text-based responses. Reading, writing, and speaking grounded in evidence from text, both literary and informational. Now let's dig into the RB's connections. So read alouds are designed to build listening comprehension, and it's essential that flipbook images are displayed to promote visual connections to the text. So the text used in the read aloud is intended to be teacher-facing only. Students should not be expected to follow along with the text. Reading the text prior to instruction is important. Many of the stories are new and may require additional prep, such as pronunciation practice. This component connects to the RB's text complexity as it provides students with regular practice with grade level complex text and its academic language. So let's take some time to go through the lesson that you brought today and look through the reading portion. You can also access your online resource and look through and read aloud resources there. I want you to feel free to annotate the lesson as you do so, or consider how the read aloud supports students in building listening comprehension. Let's take 3 minutes. So pause this video and take 3 minutes and look through your own lesson that you brought today, specifically the reading component. So this might be familiar with some of you. These stories in the decodables are 100% decodable because they allow students to try out newly learned sound spellings. The readers become more sophisticated as students' skills grow, and the Spanish readers are 100% authentic. The length and complexity of the stories will increase as students review more letter-sound correspondence. There will be a significant increase in length from Unit 1 reader to Unit 2 reader. And this component connects to the RB's foundational skills as it provides students with opportunity to engage with explicit, systematic practice. So it's also recommended that you have students engage in partner reading. Super important. Um, Partner reading involves two students taking turns reading both new and old stories aloud to each other. The national panel found that repeated oral reading boosts reading achievement, and partner reading is an effective way to conduct repeated oral reading. So, second grade teachers, that is your fluency that you're going to be practicing over and over of those specific patterns. So, planning a partner read routine you should really take into considerations these things. One, the location where students will partner read in the classroom, good partner reading etiquette, such as taking turns, and also what to do when students finish reading a story before the other partner pairs. So I want you to take some time and consider the partner reading routine in your classroom. What do they look like? If needed, what are some things that you would implement next skills lesson to ensure that your partner readings are more effective? Why would you think decodable texts are a key component for student reading development? So, in addition to partner reading, there are other effective oral reading methods. Some suggestions are whole reading, whole group reading. Students follow along as a class with classmates as they take turns reading aloud. However, avoid round robin reading. Small group reading is another one. Some students can read aloud in small groups with the teacher, while other students partner, read, or engage in other activities. And so during reading time, it's important to circulate and listen to students read. Utilize the provided anecdotal reading record located in the teacher resources section. You can make multiple copies to the blank record to have on hand when listening to students read aloud. You should strive to hear every student read aloud at least once or twice each week. This component also connects to the RB's foundational skills as it provides students the opportunity to engage with explicit systematic practice. So take some time and consider the whole group and small group reading routines in your classroom. What do they look like? If needed, what are some things that you would want to implement next skills lesson to ensure that the whole group and small group reading routines are more effective? So now the third RLA RBs, knowledge coherence, amplifies the need for literacy instruction to build knowledge and vocabulary through text in all content areas. It also connects to RB's text complexity since it provides students opportunities with regular practice in grade level academic language with a complex text. So the Amplify Texas Literacy Program embeds this strategy with the daily word work sections of this lesson. Word work opportunities provide explicit instruction on Tier 2 vocab words. The instructional delivery provides authentic and repetitive practice of high leverage words that students will encounter within their reading and eventually be able to add to their speaking repertoire. This instructional strategy may differ from previous vocab instructional lessons. However, the consistency and fidelity of the instruction are essential to students. So I want you right now to take time to look through your vocabulary in your lessons. What words are students learning, and what will the impact of daily word work have on the student classroom experience and literacy development? So pause this and go ahead and look at your lesson's upcoming vocabulary section. All right, think, pair, share activities. These encourage students' active involvement in class discussions by having them think through the answers to questions, rehearse the responses silently and through discussion and with a peer, and share some of the responses aloud to the class. It's recommended that you model the think, pair, share process with another adult the first time you use it, and continue to scaffold students to use the process successfully throughout the year. Additionally, lessons in K-2 incorporate exit passes, which allow for students to synthesize learning from the lessons. In Think, Pair, Share, you will begin by asking students to listen to the question you pose. Then you allow students to some time to think about the question and the response to the question. Next, you will prompt students to discuss their response in pairs. And then finally, you will select several students to share their responses with the class. Now we're going to spend some time deep diving in this upcoming lesson. So you're going to pause this video in a second, and you're going to take about 12 minutes to deep dive the lesson that you brought in. You can choose to start your internalization process with this lesson and annotate while you do so, or you can just read through it. And as you go through the lesson, I want you to consider the following question on the screen. Which of these lesson components do you want to dig a little bit deeper into? So go ahead and pause and take 12 minutes to deep dive into your lesson. Please feel free to start an internalization protocol process and annotate and think about this question on the screen as you dive into this upcoming lesson. All right, welcome back. Since this is asynchronous, we aren't going to be able to whole group share. But I want you to think about the last question. Which lesson did you dig into? And think about the two questions right there on the screen. What do you think will be the easiest lesson component to engage in? And then what component do you think you'll need support with, or you have been needing support with? So again, this is just part one, but let's reflect on the new learning that took place in today's module, or review of the learning. In what ways did you gain a little bit deeper understanding of the lessons within the program? So go ahead and take a second and look at the 4 questions on the screen. All right, you're done. That was fast and furious. So before you fully finalize this step, you do need to take the exit ticket. The exit ticket is located in the PD dashboard with all of the materials. What you do need to also do is make sure that you identify Bloom, your name, and you are a teacher. The next thing is when it asks for, like when there's a drop down to identify the provider, make sure that you scroll down and link Achievement Network. That is the provider that's supporting you right now, myself, Callie. And so Achievement Network is after you get down after the ESC, you'll find Achievement Network there in the exit ticket. All right, everyone, that was fast and furious. Now to deep dive. Part 2 will be the next session that you'll be taking after your exit ticket.